So, this is the long-awaited video that I wanted to make ever since I started with my channel. I want to give a summarized thoughts and opinions, kind of like a mega recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15. This is a format that I want to introduce to every single franchise that I review and recap on my channel. So be sure to definitely check those out for Potomac, Beverly Hills, and maybe even Married to Medicine if I decide to tune in and watch our girl Phaedra back on our screens. But in this video, we are going to discuss everything that happened, my honest thoughts and opinions. I will give a rating. I will give some maybe not so great opinions, some maybe unpopular opinions, but all in all, I am excited to share them all with you, and I actually do want to read into a little summary of you all that are watching this video, so don't be shy and hop in my comments and share your thoughts with me. So, season 15 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Where do I even begin? Definitely a season that did lack a lot of things that could have been dealt with in different matter, things that, maybe are a bit dry to reach into the pockets of several seasons ago because there is just no dynamics and dramas to explore that are raw and real and timely in season 15. I think that this cast has huge problems going forward if they do keep the same cast. I don't think that they can hold the future for The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think there needs to be some major restructuring, but I will touch on that later on in the video. So, storylines. Let's talk about storylines. I don't think anybody except, let me think clearly and very hard, except Drew had a good storyline this season. This is not an attack on any of the ladies. I am always trying to be as nice as I can be, as neutral as I can be, because I do know that production plays a huge part. And budget also plays a huge part in whether or not X, Y, and Z is going to be displayed on the show. So I don't think anyone had really a good storyline for season 15 except Drew. Drew really laid it out all in the open for us to judge, see, and watch and hear. The whole mess with LaToya, her marriage, the fights, the movie, the little tiff with Marlo, the tiff with cousin Courtney, and yeah, definitely kudos to Drew for being very much transparent. Even if she did lie on a few things, allegedly, I don't care if she lied one time, I don't care if she lied 20 times, I'm still holding down on my opinion that she just, released a little karmic response to the Mr. Ralph Pittman that did a few ungodly things allegedly in Tampa and throughout their marriage. So I'm putting my foot down on that one. Candy and Kenya. I feel like we could have seen so much more. I obviously fell in love with the show in earlier seasons. That's why I'm still around. Kenya and Candy are clearly factors that played into me falling in love with the show. But if I have to be honest, did not like Candy's behavior sometimes in the show. I did not like that comment that she said to Drew about her gaslighting Ralph. I did not like how when Drew got vulnerable and cried in the trip in Portugal, said that she was acting. I do not really like how she can, dish it out, but does not seem to take it that well when it comes back to her. At times, I feel a bit frustrated when I do see that. But again, I see the Taurus in her at all times, the tenacious nature to be productive at all times and get to that bag and really work for your money and have multiple businesses. I think we all know Candy is super busy, the busiest and most, I think, successful housewife ever, or at least up there. But I think production chose to not include her that much. I don't know if it is to alienate her. I don't know if it is to, kind of distance her from the show and give her a lesser role. But I also do understand this is an ensemble cast and not the Candy show or Drew show or Marlo show or Sheree show or Kenya show. But anyways, what I have to give Candy her flowers for is that she was definitely 24/7 ready to clock someone, to read someone. She was very much activated Candy, and that is what I like to see. Just sometimes it's the hypocrisy that the situation spits out for Candy that kind of makes me be a little on the fence about certain situations, but I will definitely look past that because this, again, is a reality TV show that is supposed to be dramatic. So, yeah. Kenya, I was heartbroken that we did not see her business thing with the salon. It is still not open. I think it will open in fall because she is adding a second floor to her salon. But it was definitely a bit brief. I think every time that Kenya was on our screens, it was very short and simple. I did not like how they also chose to give filler scenes to other ladies that really did serve kind of no purpose to anything and kind of took away from Kenya. So that's all I have to say. But again, Kenya also always ready to clock someone, always good TV, but I don't think she's as stable with a cast like this, because as she said with in the Carlos King interview, is that she has colleagues like Courtney, etc., that it is not an exciting environment to really go all out and produce a little bit and really let your persona take over in a scene. So that's all I have to say with that one. I think Kenya's potential is with just not, I'll just say how it is, a boring cast. That's my take on that. Sheree. I liked Sheree's storyline this season because we've seen a side to Sheree that makes her more likable. The family of it all, her granddaughter Mecca with her kids. I think it felt a little bit more personal, but still, as we all know, Sheree likes to live in her delusions, and I personally think that there is no other housewife as in her own world as Miss Sheree Whitfield, and that definitely is an advantage to some and a disadvantage to others. That's however you want to look at that trait of Miss Whitfield. But Sheree brought very shady receipts to the reunion. She was very much activated. She was less stuttery. I just wish that Sheree would have owned up to the, work that she had gotten done prior this year at Watch What Happens Live, because, sis, it's obvious that you got a little tweak, and that's so all of your business, and nobody should condemn you for that. I'm speaking from a place of 2 nose jobs and an eye lift that I did a few years ago. So, and actually a second revision rhinoplasty, because the first one really effed up my breathing real bad, and of course I made it look cuter. I just wish Sheree would be a little bit more transparent. So Sheree also, like Kenya and Candy, feels a bit more, out of order, out of place, out of touch when with newbies, because I don't feel the utmost genuine connection. And I want to place her next to Candy and Kenya in a future season if they do not get rebooted, all of them, and actually fired. So let's see what season 16 is going to bring for Miss Sheree Whitfield. Marlo Hampton. Unpopular opinion, but she is my favorite housewife. But as my favorite housewife, I will still hold her accountable on all of the ish that she does and that she maybe, dabbles in. Marlo definitely is someone whose potential was awakened and given too late, because she has been there since season 3, season 4, and now almost 12 years later, in a spot where performances like this and alliances like this could have really been useful back in season 9, 8, 10, 11, something like that, and not almost 15 years later with almost all of her connections to the cast just gone. So I do feel kind of this bitter sadness for Marlo, but still she is a little bit messy, and I do feel that I do not want to speak ill of the people that are not here with us anymore, but that thing with Candy, I can see Marlo's side a little bit. I have to admit, I also can see Candy's side, and it's very conflicting for me with the 2 housewives that I like a lot to just, pick a side, because I see how Candy would say that it's a reach, definitely. Also, I do kind of see Marlo's point a little bit in her not being happy with the way that Candy showed up, because it can be a little bit cold from her side. So that, I think, was a big, big, big mistake in having this tiff with Candy, because if she hadn't had that, I think Marlo could have rebuilt a more solid connection and friendship with Candy and Kenya for this season. Who do we have next? We've talked about, I think, Drew, Candy, Kenya, Marlo, and Sheree. Have we talked about Drew in detail, though? I have no further comment as to Drew is going to be carrying the future of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, especially with her age, the openness, the delusions, the music, the acting, the singing, the family dynamic, the mess of it all with Ralph, the potential, future relationships that could occur for Miss Sedora on season 16 or future seasons. So that's all I'm going to add for Drew. This one is kind of, it breaks my heart to speak of her like that, because I feel like I would be such good friends with her in real life. Sanya Richards-Ross. This is just not the show for her. I feel like the show has tried to give Sanya Cynthia's place that she held in the group, but Sanya is not really landing like Cynthia did. Cynthia was a neutral, anchor to the show that still could roll in the dirt and get messy with the girls in arguments, but actually bring everybody together because she had the strings to pull. She had all the good connections to everybody, regardless if people separately had an issue externally, collectively. Without Cynthia, she was always able to bring the girls back to common ground. And I think also with Cynthia's departure, that was kind of, as well, a bit of a demise for the show. And they tried it with Sanya, but in a circle like that, with storylines and friendships and history like that, you cannot really add a new person that is going to replace somebody so crucial, somebody so important, and I just don't see the it factor for Sanya. But I do have to give her credit. She showed it all. She showed the pregnancy, the miscarriage. My heart still breaks for her. I got so teary-eyed watching that episode. The sports, the success. She has very long money also, apparently. So do not get it twisted on Miss Sanya Richards-Ross. But I don't feel like reality TV is something for her. I do see her in something as of hosting with sport tournaments or something like that with bigger brands, because that is definitely more her than Housewives. But then again, if she does come back for the next season, because she is pregnant, she is going to embark in motherhood again, I can see why producers would maybe want her to come back as a friend of, or even, if it's going to be like that, a full housewife. But that's not in my hands. That is going to be a whole different thing. I mean, I'm not involved in all of that. That's what I want to say. So, Monyetta Shaw. Monyetta, I was rooting for you. I think we were all rooting for you, but it gave very much bone collector. I did enjoy your cute little scenes, but similar to Sanya, I do not see the it factor with you. You give OG vibes, OG friend of vibes from back in the day, but she just didn't land for me like that, and it's sad because in interviews she's so interesting and she has a nice story and a nice, funky character, but I don't think the production did her justice. But then again, maybe she didn't really offer them much. That's all I'm going to say for Monyetta Shaw. No hard feelings. Courtney, cousin Courtney. I have went off on this woman so much on my channel, so I'm going to try to be nice today because I need to remind myself that these are just human beings like everybody else. But then again, why are you trying it? Why are you trying it so hard? Why are you colluding with a man against his wife for a place on this show? Granted, many people have done very messy things all over the years and all over the franchises to stay on the show and get on the show, but to bring in the kids, the adoption, to allege that they did have a relationship whilst being with Ralph, and you try to play it nice in the beginning, and also Drew did expose that you actually lived in Tampa 3 years back when Ralph actually went missing to Tampa. That's just all a bit suspect to me. I do not see it for her. I do have to give her credit that she did rile everybody up. She definitely got that job done. But personally, if you ask me, I just do not see it for her. The vibes, the energy, her whole persona, I think, clashes with all of the group. So that's that on that with Miss Courtney. Definitely a flop for this season. I'm so sorry, but I don't think this franchise, or maybe any franchise, is for you. But she was definitely one of the best dressed at the reunion, so I'm going to give you the flowers for that, Miss Courtney. Who else do we have? So, we had the chance to meet Akila. We had the chance to revisit Kim Zolciak, Deshaun Snow, and Lisa Wu. The OG dinner party that was very awkward. I anticipated so much more for that. Kim was in one scene. And I really kind of hope that with the shakeup for next season, there is a place for Kim in a friend of role for Atlanta to just come back. Maybe have a redemption. Maybe step foot into dynamics with the OGs of the show. Get back on their good side. Or make a fool of herself. But anyways, I want to see it. Because she and Croy are definitely going through the ringer right now. As they are filing and refiling for divorce every 2 days. Lisa Wu was nice, feisty, and quick with it. If I do say so myself, I wouldn't be mad seeing her at events. Or even as a friend of for next season, or an unofficial friend of. Deshaun Snow was a bit more quiet, but I did like the energy that, I am so tired, the energy that the whole group collectively had together, because it just reminded me of old days Atlanta. Akila could have been a nice addition for Kenya as a friend of. She's married to an NFL player, I think. She has some money. She, I think, has an online business and also has 1 or 2 kids. And she definitely has new generation Atlanta housewife energy that Drew and LaToya had back in season 12. So maybe bring her up for next season. Ask her if she wants to come shooting a few scenes and actually test out as a friend of or as an unofficial friend of. So those are my thoughts on Akila. Now I have shared everything on my mind with you all, from storylines, behaviors, dynamics, and actually each and every single one of the housewives that appeared on season 15, friend ofs that appeared on season 15, and even unofficials that appeared on season 15. I give this season a 5.5 out of 10. I don't think it was that terrible. Let's be honest, we've had worse in other franchises. But let's be honest, this is not Atlanta quality, what we've seen for this season. At all. What I envision for season 16, I've already shared on my channel. I've already made a video on that, so go check that out. My dream casting for next season obviously includes Nene, Cynthia, Portia, Eva, LaToya, and maybe even Claudia or Kim as a friend, and just bring back some familiar faces, bring back faces that will want to wake up our girls and make them want to go back in the ringer, because as we've seen in the season, some of them are just not excited to be there, to work with the ladies, to produce the show. So my thing is just, excuse me, my whole thing is call a few people back. Call a few people, ask them how they're doing, ask them what they're up to in next year, maybe in the beginning of winter or the beginning of spring. Take a hiatus, but if I had to choose for someone to come back full time, maybe two, I would definitely choose Portia and Nene. But Nene is, something that we can only maybe dream of. So if that thing with Nene is not possible to make her Real Housewives of Atlanta return, I would want to see either Eva or LaToya or Cynthia back as a full-time housewife. But we've already, Cynthia has already stated that she does like being in the background a little bit more and actually be bi-coastal from I don't know if, not bi-coastal, that she actually likes, dipping into Beverly Hills and Atlanta at the same time, from time and time. So yeah. Anyways, you guys, I think this was a very, very long video. I am excited for today's new episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I will definitely get the recap up as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll definitely see you guys later on in the next video. And like, comment, and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And also click the notification bell to never miss out on any future content that I release. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.